Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to revisit an old favourite. I'm going to make KFC, Keefy's fried chicken, except I'm not going to fry it. I'm going to do it in the air fryer, so it'll be AFC. Should be fun. So the last few weeks the whole country's been driven insane by the scandalous increase in the cost of energy and living in general. I'm going to focus on how we can reduce that in our own lives. And one of the things you can do is think about the choice of cooking equipment that you're using. It turns out the cheapest things you probably have in your kitchen are a microwave, and then it's an air fryer, and then it's a slow cooker or crock pot. So I'm going to use the air fryer to make this chicken, and also it's a bit more healthy, which isn't a bad thing. Anyway, if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, etc. And let's do it, AFC. So first thing you need to do is get your chicken ready. I have got 5 pieces, or 5 chicken thighs, bone in, skin on, and they've been marinating in this liquid for the last 3 hours. I would have liked to have used buttermilk, but I couldn't get any, so I've used ordinary milk with a teaspoon of lemon juice in it. And basically it's just a slightly acidic liquid that will soften the chicken somewhat. You can use chicken drumsticks or wings. I wouldn't recommend using breast because not very tasty. I'm using the version of the secret KFC recipe that was leaked a few years ago. I did a video then using that. It was kind of weird, and a lot of other people also did videos using it, and it's not really right. One of the main bones of contention is there's an image of the actual leaked recipe, handwritten. So capital T-S for the quantities. Is that tablespoon or is it teaspoon? It's important because, you know, a tablespoon is about 3 teaspoons, which will make a massive difference to your flavour. But the general consensus seems to be that tablespoons is what it is. Also, salt. I've cut down on the amount of salt it specifies because we've got garlic salt and we've got celery salt. This one says it is 70% regular salt. And this also, the main ingredient is salt, but it doesn't tell you what percentage it is. So that's plenty of that. I've also cut down on a few other things, but the magic secret ingredient is MSG, monosodium glutamate, 1 teaspoon. So I'm using that. I didn't do it in my last one. We're not actually trying to reproduce Kentucky Fried Chicken. For one thing, they cook theirs, they pressure cook it. Basically, it's a pressure cooker filled with oil. It's just not something I want to attempt. I've got a pressure cooker, I've got oil, but I don't want to put those two together. It just terrifies me. But also, I'm not frying it, I'm using the air fryer. Okay, let's make up the mix. I've got 2 cups of plain all-purpose flour, that is about 250 grams. I want half a tablespoon of thyme. So I'm using a teaspoon because it fits in there, so that's 1.5 teaspoons. Half a tablespoon of basil, and 1/3 of a tablespoon of oregano, so that's 1 teaspoon. In you go. Right. Now 1 tablespoon of celery salt, 1 tablespoon of ground black pepper, and 2 tablespoons of ground white pepper. This is said to have been a bit of an unknown ingredient in those days, back in the 1940s when Harlan, what's his name? Sanders, Colonel Sanders, was inventing this stuff. 1 tablespoon of mustard powder, 2 tablespoons of paprika. Now the recipe doesn't specify what kind, you know, whether it should be sweet or hot or smoked or whatever, but things I've read suggest that it should be sweet paprika, so it's for colour, it's not for heat. And actually the written recipe said 4 tablespoons, which strikes me as an insanely large amount, so I've just cut it in half. And then 2 tablespoons of garlic salt, 1.5. God, smells horrible. 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, and 1 teaspoon of monosodium glutamate. Yes. And is that still a controversial ingredient? I mean, some people say it gives them a headache or something, but there's no evidence to support that. So I just thought I should have done all those spices in a separate jar, then I could give them a really good shake to get them mixed together, but it's too late now. Right, so I'll just coat my bits of chicken, put them on a wire rack to just do their thing. We're going to leave them on that rack for about half an hour, and that'll help the flour to stick. I left the skin on because I like it, and it'll give some juiciness to the chicken. There's way more seasoned flour here than I need, so I might end up having to do another batch. Poor me. Okay, I'll put those in the fridge and leave them for half an hour, and then we'll cook them. Right, the chicken has been in the fridge, and the coating has kind of dried out a bit, so I'm going to put some more on. I've seen people using eggs to make this stick, but I don't think that's actually necessary. As long as the chicken was moist from the buttermilk to start with, then this should stick. Okay, so I've got the air fryer, pointing the wrong way, but I need to preheat that to 200 degrees Celsius. That's up to temp, so I'm just going to put the chicken in. I'm going to give the basket a good coating of oil, spray oil, and put the chicken in, give that a good spray as well. I know they say that air fryers don't need oil, but if you're trying to simulate fried chicken, you do need a bit of oil. So we'll whack that in for 10 minutes to start with, then I'll turn it over for another 10 minutes, and then I'll check the temperature, and the internal temperature needs to be 74 degrees Celsius. Alright, 10 minutes is up. That's what we got. So give it another blast with the spray oil and turn them all over. Looks better where it's been face down, where the sort of juices have gone down through it. So. And in for another 10 minutes. Okay, that's 20 minutes. Check the temp. 74 I said. Yay, okay, we're there. We're more than there. So that's done. It's not sort of crunchy and crispy like you'd expect from fried chicken, but well, we'll have a taste, won't we? Alrighty, here it is, our AFC. Da, da, da. So, yeah, right, let's go for it. Let's do this big one. Oh, juicy. Look at that. It's amazing. And it is cooked, and wow. I am well impressed by the juiciness of that, which is the main thing. Well, the juicy and the crunchy. The crunchy is not so much, obviously, because it wasn't deep fried, but the juiciness of that chicken is fantastic. The spicing is definitely there, and probably, too much, but not lethally so. So I'm impressed. That's really good. So I reckon you should try it. Oh yes. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time.